Hello there, my name is Ben and I thought I'd talk to you briefly about Quiet One. That is a kalimba and it's what I used to create the intermission. Someone asked me what instrument that was and it is a kalimba. So there you go, asked and answered. So what's going on with Quiet One? There's been quite a lot of movement, especially in the last couple of months, and I wanted to briefly explain what was going on and what's happening next year as well. So, quick little bit of interjection. Quiet One is by far the most successful thing I do, but I'm very conscious of that. And my intention at the end of last year, having put out kind of the Quiet One album 5 months beforehand, was to do an album this year, and I really didn't want it to come across as though I was trying to quickly get another album in. So instead what I've done is I've created an EP this year that kind of draws a line under a lot of stuff that I've had for quite a long time, and it's called the Upside Down EP, and it's really quite dark, and I wasn't even sure why it was so dark to begin with, because I'm probably in the most positive place I've ever been in my life. But for some reason, when I go into this kind of Quiet One writing mode, especially lyrically, I just let my mind kind of wander, and it goes into the kind of darkest recesses, I guess, and cleans out that closet. And I'm talking, there's a couple of songs, one called Dark Horse and one called Upside Down, which is the title track. And Dark Horse is actually about a dream I had about a murderer, a very horrible series of events that I try and kind of encapsulate in a kind of iridescent type way, you know, with the song, looking back, and it's very odd. And then Upside Down is, there's quite a literal event. It's kind of on the same level as, I guess, Sync and that stuff, not the same set of dreams. This is far more recent. But really quite upsetting. I see it almost cinematically, and not as in kind of big strings and moving orchestration, but I literally see the dream I had at the time unravel when I'm listening to it, which is kind of what I wanted. So so that's the EP, which will be coming out in the next, hopefully, fortnight, definitely within the next month, but Tim Morris is mixing it now. And the idea is that next year I'd like to do a full-length Quiet One album, but this studio won't be here this time next year. In fact, it won't be here this time in, well, a month or two. So it's it was about finding a space to do it in that was right for Quiet One, because although a lot of the Quiet One album was recorded here, a lot of it was actually recorded in, well, all sorts of places actually, but a lot of it guitar-wise was recorded in a huge, almost church-like building. It's ruins actually, but in fact it's called the Foundry Ruins. I've done 3 or 4 live sets there as well. But and it was amazing space, and it just, you could feel this kind of size. When I wanted it to feel the size, I pushed up the really far mics, and you could really feel the kind of space uncover, because there's no artificial reverb. Well, there's a tiny bit on the album, but all of it was, it's very complicated anyway. But I needed to find a space that could match that, and so I was looking at Air Studios in London, Rack in London, which is a bit smaller. But I'm not going to mention which one we're now in talks with, but it's one you know, or you've been to with me at least, but vlog-wise. But I'm really excited to even be in talks about doing a week stint in the studio, and it would mean that I'd have to write all the songs beforehand. I couldn't get to the studio and write songs there because of time and money. But it'd be really nice to record that, and just the breadth of history that's been there is incredible. And anyway, that's next year. So I'm going to start writing in October in my writing room at home and see basically what comes up. But it's going to be very, not different, but new. I'm very conscious now that in my job, I'm what they call, well, it's called many things. I call it ghostwriting. So you write, it's just songwriting, but for other people, and you sell those songs or sell bits and bobs. And I'm very conscious that I'm now leaning towards my older stuff to sell on, essentially, or rework. So I want to draw a line under that and recreate or create something brand new. And that will be between October and probably December, January this year. I'm really excited to do that as well, because when I start writing Quiet One, I go into this kind of zone and kind of really focus hard on what I want to say, because it means a lot to me, and I think it means a lot to quite a few people now, so I don't want to let you down. But it's very hard to write Quiet One when there's other stuff going on around me, because I'm so easily distracted by things that I just can't let that happen with Quiet One. So it's almost like I need to lock myself away for a bit just to experience the writing process for that. Sounds very metaphorical. It's not. I literally mean lock myself away and write. And Quiet One has been, I mean, in my kind of career, if you call it a career, it's really a hobby, but career as a musician, it's been the most successful thing I've ever done, and I've done a lot. So much so that in the next month or so I'll be coming across my 4,000th song, which I just think, how is that possible? But I write and write. I write so many songs almost every day. I have a two sets of different things. I have a new app on my phone actually that helps me. It's got like a stereo, it's called the iTrack Pocket actually. Plugs into my iPhone and has a camera, because until like 3 years ago, I used to record songs into just like a pen drive. I used to put the pen recorder on my table, press record and play songs. Then of course 2 years later, I can't remember how to physically play those songs if they're on guitar or on piano. So I have to kind of relearn them. But with this new iTrack Pocket thing, I've already filled up 3 terabyte hard drives with just footage, but it's recorded in 60 FPS and I can see exactly what chords I'm hitting, what progressions, what riffs and stuff, and it's so much easier to work like that. I have that, and then I have a can't remember what that's called either, like a stereo Zoom something, which I've subsequently stopped using that, or at least using it less, because I use this iTrack Pocket thing. But I write a lot of songs, so I'm 3,800 and something at the moment, and that's just of songs that I've been documenting as well, because before that I was writing probably even more, but these are documented songs. These are songs that physically exist, and it's anything from kind of full length guitar chord progressions to full songs with full lyrics, and not particularly all the instrumentation, but at least guitar with all the lyrics set. And there's quite a lot of music, and one day or 1 month in, when I'm in my 90s, I won't even make it that far, when I'm in my late 30s, I'll sit back and I'll listen to all of these things, because it's just interesting. It's really nice to have that all documented. I really hope I don't lose it again. But anyway, that's Quiet One. So the idea is to release the EP in the next couple of weeks, and then an album in the first quarter of next year, which will be physical. And by the way, the EP won't be physical. The EP is just digital, because I had the option to make it physical, but to be honest, the physicals, because it's just me now at Hurt for the time being, it's a challenge just sending them all. And even, I mean, when was it, like 2 weeks ago, there was this weird spike of like, Quiet One sells 5-10 a day, something like that. It doesn't sound like that much, but then suddenly I'll get like a spike, and I always wonder where this has come from. Like, there's no way to track why suddenly there's this massive spike of, well, it's like 220 in a day. And that was like, well, maybe 3 weeks ago now. It's really odd how it goes up and down. I don't know if it's radio, I don't know if it's someone shouting out about it. There's just no way to track that kind of stuff, I guess. But anyway, I just wanted you to know that I wasn't just making an album because it's doing well. I wanted to spend time and do it properly. That's why I'm not going to just rush one and do it this year. I want to spend time and write properly for Quiet One, and then I'll end up doing it next year. So there is a music video coming out for a song called Worth, which we haven't actually recorded it yet. We're going to record it very, very soon. That'll be the next recorded video. And that's one of the songs from the EP. It's currently called Worth. It may be called something else by the time. In fact, the current song is called Worth Sun, which isn't actually on the EP, but Worth, Spider, Upside Down, Dark Horse, and a song called Tether, which used to be a song called Handle. So, but all of those may change because they were just working titles. So I'm reading it literally off the thing behind me. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for all your support with Quiet One, because I didn't know if anyone would like it, because the songs are quite specific and they're not like love songs. None of them are love songs. They're all quite deep, but for some reason I didn't think anyone would really like it, but it seems like there's a lot of deep people out there, which is really good. And may the darkness be with you. Thanks, guys.